program to illustrate the syntax of malloc function. In the previous videos, we have seen how exactly malloc can be used for implementing dynamic memory allocation, and we already seen the syntax of this particular malloc function. Let us now put a practical program to confirm that particular syntax of malloc function and the practical use or the real-time use of this particular malloc function and the actual advantage of pointers in this particular part. To illustrate malloc for a one-dimensional array, let us go for a simple program to find the largest of a given integer number, right? Okay, now you must scan the entire code, and this entire code you will not have any reference to a one-dimensional array, but internally a pointer behaves as if it is a one-dimensional array. You can use the concepts of pointer arithmetic, you can use the concepts of arrays to access the elements, and almost a pointer behaves as an array after certain instructions. A pointer will not be said as an array at the beginning itself. Let's start with this particular code. Now suppose at the declaration I'll have int asterisk p, comma I, comma n, comma temp. Now in this case your p is a pointer, that's it. If I ask you to describe this particular p, what entity this is this a variable? Is this a pointer? Is this an array? At this point of time, the best statement which justifies what p is this p is a pointer to an integer value. That's it. P is a pointer. So at this point of time, p is a pointer which I have drawn at this place. Apart from this, I have I, n and temp. That we'll see at the later stage. Now, how many numbers to be entered? Now let us ask for the requirement. We'll ask the user to enter the number of values or the requirement from the user. The user says that he has n requirement. Suppose if n is given as a 5. If n is 5, then I had to allocate a memory for this particular pointer to store 5 values. Now when I say that I have to allocate a memory, then the instruction which is responsible for doing that is malloc. Malloc. We allocate a memory during runtime, hence it is malloc. Malloc, what type of value you want to store? You want to store integer values, hence I'll say size of int multiplied by how many values you want to store? You want to store, just now you got the requirement as n values, you will say n. Suppose if I have 5 values, n is 5, 5 multiplied by size of int is 2. So 2 into 5 is 10. So it will now get 10 free bytes. Each of 2 bytes each. So there are 5 locations, each of 2 bytes. Now in these each of 2 bytes, you can store integer values because you set size of int. But as per the rules of malloc, these locations can store any type of value which is of 2 bytes. Since what I need to do is, I need to convert this to store integer values, hence which returns a void pointer. I'll typecast this to a int pointer, integer pointer. So when I convert this to integer pointer, all these values can be now pointed by any pointer which is defined as an integer pointer. Now since p is an integer pointer, I'll set p equals to. So now p starts pointing to the first location. Now if I ask you after this declaration what is p, you will say that this p is a array. At the beginning your p was just a pointer. Don't you feel that you have converted a pointer into an array? Who did this particular task? Yes, malloc did this particular task. Malloc converted a pointer to a one-dimensional array. Clear? So we created an pointer into a one-dimensional array. Then we'll say int asterisk n. So size of int, if you say, you can say it as 2 asterisk n, or you can say size of int into n also. Now after this, your p, the first location can be referred as p of 0 or asterisk p plus I. P of 1 can be also referred as asterisk p plus 1. Right? How? Let's ask the user to enter the values. So I'll say scanf for I equal to 0, I less than equal to n I plus plus, scanf percentage d comma, I'll say ampersand of asterisk of p plus I. When I is 0, it will store the first value. Assume that the user gives a value as say 5, 12, 3, 17 and 9. This work for n values and the values are given by this. Then let's say temp equals to asterisk p. So I'll take a variable as temp. This will get the value from the first location. What is the value from the first location? P. Assume that this is address of 500. So the address is 500. Value at 500 is 5. So hence this will be 5. For I equals to 1, from the first location till the last location, keep on checking whether the value which is at p plus I is 1, p plus I, 500 plus 1. 500 plus 1 is 502. So value at 502. Is it greater than temp? Yes, 12 is greater than temp. So if that is true, move this particular temp value. Move this particular array to a temp value and continue doing this particular process. Next, when I becomes 2, p plus 2, that is 500 plus 2 is 504. Is the value at 504 greater than temp? No. 3, is it greater than temp? No. 12, so keep as it is. Again go back, I becomes 3. Value at 500 plus 3 is 506. Value at 506 is 17. Greater than temp? True. So modify this value. Again go back, I becomes 4. For the last time, 4 less than 4, true. Value at 500 plus 4 is 508. Value at 508 is 9. Greater than temp? 17. False. 9 is greater than 17. False. So ultimately, the temp stores the largest value. When you go back, I plus plus, no, it doesn't work. So printf largest number equals to percentage d comma temp, that is 17. Once you get the value of 10, you can now release the memory which is held by p. If you have to release the memory which is held by p, then you can use the instruction called as free p. When I say free p, automatically array memory location is released, and then you'll say return 0. You can do this. So I have written the entire program using main. You can modify this using functions as per the previous videos, where we have seen how this particular arrays can be, or a concept of pointers and arrays can be divided into functions. This is how we create one-dimensional array. What if I have to create a two-dimensional array? Let's see an example to illustrate a two-dimensional array. So let's say a two-dimensional array as int asterisk p of 3. I'll believe that there are 3 rows and 3 columns, so I'll say n equals to 3. If you wish, you can say even m equals to 3 also. Apart from this, I'll use the variables I and j. What I need to do is, I need to add up all the values of this particular array. I need to add up all the values of this particular array, right? So when I say asterisk p of 3, since you have set the number of rows and number of columns as 3 and 3, you can directly go with malloc instruction. If you want to ask the requirement, ask the user to enter the number of rows and columns, read them as m and n, and then you can allocate space for that, right? So when I say this, your p is now an array of pointers. So array of 3 pointers. I'll draw these 3 pointers, right? Okay. Now what I need to do is, I need to store these values. So to store the values, I'll use malloc. So as usual, I'll say size of int multiplied by how many columns you need in every row. I'll say n columns, so I'll say n. And this has to be given to only one pointer or every pointer? Every pointer, so I'll say p of I. So this I has to change from 0, 1 and 2. For that, what I'll do is, I'll put a for loop around this instruction. I'll say for I equals 0, I less than 2, I plus plus, or I less than m plus plus. So when I say this, every individual pointer will get n memory locations. So n is 3, so the first pointer will get 3 values. The second memory location will also get 3 values. The third will also get 3 values. So this is how we allocate a memory using malloc instruction. So every pointer has been allocated sufficient memory space. If you feel that you have to read the value from the user of m and n, you can read them. Number of pointers are total m pointers, and for every pointer you need to get n locations. Remember this, right? Now, I have to ask the user to enter the elements. So here I'll say printf enter matrix elements. And you can use the later on concepts as I equals 0, I less than equals to j, I less than equals to m, I plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than equals to I. If you say less than equal to, then you should say m minus 1 and n minus 1. If you say less than, then you can say m and n. I'll say j plus plus. And within this, I can read the elements scanf %d, comma ampersand of p of I j. And since I want to add every element, you can take one more variable as s and set this to 0. S equal to s plus p of I j. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read elements and simultaneously keep on adding that with s. And the process is repeatedly done. And finally, I'll say printf sum equals to %d, comma s. So what I did was, first, if you feel that you can read the values of m and n, that is the rows and column requirement, read them. Use a for loop, go till m, so it will go till the number of rows, and then for every row you have to allocate n locations. If you feel that m and n are unequal, so obviously the number of rows will be m. Suppose if I say 5, then you can say 5 rows, and then for every row you can have n locations. You can have every row has n locations. Read the elements. If you feel that the operation can be done simultaneously, do that operation, and finally displays particular results. So we have stated a program which will take you to one-dimensional array as well as two-dimensional array, and how malloc can be used to perform the task on a one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array. When I say that I have created memory using malloc, if you don't do a deallocation, automatically the functions are going to be deallocated. If you feel that the function has to deallocate the memory manually, in that case I'll use again the number of pointers. How many pointers are there? There are total m pointers. So I'll say for I equals to 0, I less than equals to m minus 1, I plus plus, and then I'll say free p of I. You can't say free p. If you say free p, the first will again have these locations, second will again have these locations. So first what I need to do is, I need to allocate a memory which is held by every individual pointer. So p of 0 is going to hold this particular memory, release that. P of 1 is going to hold this particular memory, release that. P of 2 is going to hold this particular memory, release that. Once these memory locations are released, then I'm supposed to release this. How do I release this? By saying free p. So once again I'll say free, finally p. So this is how we dynamically deallocate these memory allocations. So if you feel that the memory allocations are done manually, you can release them manually by using the instruction called as free. This is how we use malloc instructions in our programming part. Thank you.